Insert record scratch because we're literally doing this right after we stopped the last one. Welcome back.
Oh, it's been a week.
All right. So, as I'm sure you've noticed, it has been a month instead of 1 week. It's actually been 5 weeks. And we've been working on, the podcast content itself. However, I have not had the time to edit and post these because the past month has been crazy. It's been busy. So, yeah, sorry about that. But then again, I'm sure you were all waiting on the edge of your seat for the next episode. But I would like to let you all know that I'm working on getting the podcast up on Spotify. I believe the first 4 episodes are up there now. And I know often on the phone it's more convenient to listen to a podcast on Spotify on audio only. You can lock it and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, it's out there. And again, if you have any ideas for us, anything you want us to discuss, any stuff like that, let us know in the comments. But let's get back to it.
Good to be back,
I've
guys.
missed you all. It's been so long.
Welcome back to the character mashup. If you're lost, go back and watch the last episode. If you need a refresher on what our characters are, I'll put them up on screen right now. Okay, and we're starting.
I hate that. Hate the twirl.
So, to kick off this episode, we're going to do our first versus battle, and that's going to be Kyran versus Chaos.
Do they each get 1 minute?
So,
Okay,
you're
so are they
each going to
trying
get
to
1
debate it?
minute to pit your ability. You're going to have each 1 minute to say what your abilities are and why they would beat the other person.
Okay.
And then you're each going to get 30 seconds for a counter argument, and then we're going to go to a vote.
Chaos can go first. I know how these things work.
First is
This
decline.
isn't chess.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Ready?
The
Rock,
person that
paper,
goes
scissors,
first-
Shoot.
No, the person that goes first gets 15 seconds at the end to say again.
Go ahead, Chaos.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Rebuttal.
Okay.
Okay, so
if you, go
my
ahead.
personal individual is a mashup of Gambit from X-Men and Murd from that time I got reincarnated as a slime. My abilities are the kinetic energy manipulation, so freezing molecules in the air, manipulating the kinetic energy inside his playing cards so that they explode, manipulating kinetic energy inside the bow staff that I wield, so that when I hit, it hits with more kinetic energy. Some of the more advanced applications of this ability is the fact that I can walk on air because I'm manipulating the kinetic energy of the molecules in the air so that they are solid enough to hold my weight, being able to walk on a wall like Spider-Man does. Manipulate my body as a highly skilled acrobatic combat personnel. Now, my personality is a little bit more laid back, and it's a little bit more focused on the fine detail and delicate work and stuff like that. But I do have, my character does have one of those switches that if you mess with friends, family, or housing, that things can get pretty messed up pretty fast. So my personal, my character has a limitation.
Moderator. Excuse me.
We're
Excuse me. It's my turn,
we're
moderator.
Just
about
finish your
time.
point, though. It's not.
Finish your
No,
my
it's my
last
turn.
point is-
This is a presidential debate.
No.
Let him finish. He's taking up more time.
Go ahead, Chaos.
The last thing I was going to say is that my character's abilities are limited to a 30-foot radius, 30-yard radius.
30 foot.
So I'm limited in my abilities to a 30-foot radius, but at maximum power within that 30-foot radius, I have the capacity to freeze and to nullify any kinetic molecular motion. Can freeze persons, molecules in the air. I can make the air as solid as a wall within that 30 feet. Because of the kinetic energy that I am able to manipulate, I could literally make the entire 30-foot area a solid bubble dome and nothing inside of it could move.
Okay,
That is my last comment.
Okay,
so
cool.
Star Killer
You're gonna
with
get a
Buck's
little more than a
personality.
minute to make it even.
Cool.
And you can start with mainly describing your power since that's what he did, and then second round debate will be how you would beat the other person's powers. Set, go.
Okay, so Star Killer as abilities. He manipulates the Force. The Force is an energy that flows through all things. It is not atomic. It is nothing like that, so technically it would not be affected. So it's Force that flows through all things. He can dash in one direction or another very quickly, very quickly. He has the ability to electrocute with Force Lightning. He can Force Push or Force Pull something using the energy that runs through things called the Force. as a Jedi with Force abilities, Sith, argue whatever you want, he has the ability to predict danger. You know how they deflect laser bolts, which are arguably faster than most projectiles. So he can predict their paths. He has a lightsaber which can cut through anything. Yeah, so that's the basis of his powers. And then he has the personality of Buck from Halo 3 ODST. Very joking, but he's a soldier, so he does attack, when you need to attack. And especially if he's a mute, he'd probably just be making jokes towards Chaos's character. How much time do I have left? How much time?
Oh, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick argument because I already stated my powers. Even if you control the kinetic energy, the argument would then become whose power is stronger: the Force, the energy that flows, the living energy that flows through all things, or one guy's ability to manipulate kinetic energy. Which I wasn't belittling you. That's just an actual argument you'd have to have. I only have the range of 5 feet, but I could force push a card away from me if it gets within that 5 feet. Or if it blows up, I could dash one direction or another to dodge it. And I could get to you pretty dang fast. And if you solidify the air, I wonder if the lightsaber can cut through it. Because if you solidify it enough to where it can't move, like, doesn't have to be relatively solid for, I don't know.
Well, I have a question. So, do you guys think the Force has a molecular makeup?
I don't think so.
I don't think it does.
Midichlorians.
I think
that was discussed in one thing, and midichlorians are not stated as to whether they're corporeal beings or literal atoms, and they're not atoms, technically. Do they have a kinetic energy? I doubt it.
So,
All
Chaos
matter has kinetic energy
Chaos
all the way down
gets
to
his
the atomic
counter
levels of
argument now?
neutrons and protons.
Hold up. What this? So this is a quick sort of, sorry for ruining your your flow of things, but in space, how many molecules are there? Almost none, correct? The Force still works in space at any point in time and any place in space. If you force push someone, it goes towards them. It's not traveling through molecules.
Technically, space is just increased distance between said items, is it not?
There is not matter within space itself, except for like
The efficacy
light.
of the Force should be diminished in open space, though, if it relies upon molecules, is what he's trying to say, and we don't actually see that happening.
Give me one Star Wars instance that actually takes place in a vacuum in space.
In Legacy, which is what I always go off of, also Starkillers from Legacy, Mara Jade is ejected from her seat. No, because he uses the Force. Well, obviously, yeah, Leia. She kind of reaches out and grabs onto a ship and pulls it towards her, which pulls her towards the ship. However you want to say that happened. Like you and I have read these things. We know that there's instances.
Well, he's not going to give you your evidence.
No, but it's an argument. He knows the truth. I don't want to like burn through time though. I'm not literally looking for an out here. I'm making sure we're not burning through time.
I want to put this out there. This is what I'm going to do, and I would recommend everyone else do when considering their votes. How much did this person incorporate their personality into their description of the fight?
It's really hard to incorporate the personality though, for me, I think. Chaos can agree or disagree.
You can try. I mean, you can.
So, combat between myself and my opponent. So, with my personality, it would be less interactive because my character is a mute. So, even with all of the witty banter that Bucky's personality would be
that move kind of left you
towards,
speechless there, didn't it?
back towards me, I'd be going or and that's about all you'd get out of my character.
Hey, say if you think this is a good fight. Yeah.
So with all the different Force abilities, even go with the Force push, the Force jump, the
dash,
lightsaber, the dash, all of those different abilities, they would take less time to activate than some of mine would be, but the kinetic energy running through Gambit's body based off of his mutant ability, which is the body I'm utilizing for this fight, I am able to manipulate certain kinetic energies that are directed at me. So the electricity that you're sending at me would be negated because of the kinetic energy absorption in my body would stop it. That's actually written in comics that he has an electric field in his brain with the kinetic energy that he's manipulating to block incoming attacks such as that. At one point in time, the ability to make objects literally burst into flames just by exciting and accelerating the kinetic energy on the different objects are possible for my character. So I could literally manipulate the kinetic energy of your clothing to catch fire because I moved them so fast.
How often does Gambit use these kinds of abilities? And also, would the mute use them?
The mute would only use them in a situation where, like I said, friends,
Right.
family, or himself were in dire danger.
And how often does Gambit use
this
abilities to the point where he freezes air or where he lights people on fire or where stuff like that?
They are later on in the series. They're not necessarily early, such as some of the other characters we'll be hearing from are based off of their Chunin exam for the Naruto series. So that's, I'd say, no, not even 2/3, maybe a third of the way through their development cycle. So for Gambit to be able to utilize those, there's only maybe a dozen situations where he utilizes some of those higher tier skills.
Right.
You would end up seeing more of his magic card explosions and the kinetic energy behind his bow staff and his close quarter hand-to-hand martial arts style that's specifically designed around his ability to move his body in ways that shouldn't be possible because of his ability to manipulate his kinetic energy. So in a fight between my character and yours, because of the personality that my character is portraying, I don't know that he would take the fight seriously enough without having bystanders or somebody else there to encourage him to actually put forth the full effort the fight would require. I see the personality of my character kind of playing the more docile defensive role of blocking the lightning and blocking the lightsaber and avoiding your force jump and all of this stuff because his personality is not confrontational in nature. He would only be avoiding and evading until one of the confrontational characters came to assist him.
Ha, we tricked you guys. This isn't a new style. This is just a versus episode.
Okay.
I won't have any rebuttals. I'll let it end there.
You just leave it there? Okay.
Yeah, because I think we both made some decent points.
I kind of don't want to vote first on this. But...
Rip to you.
Okay, you can vote first.
Okay. Now, if we were just doing powers, I would go for chaos decisively. Now, I am actually still voting for chaos, and I'll tell you why. And I haven't seen the show, but it has to do with he may be not taking it seriously and not playing aggressive until something bad happens. But unless Starkiller is able to literally kill him in one hit, if he, let's say, hits his arm bow with the lightsaber, hits him somewhere where it doesn't kill him, then he's going to take it serious. His life's in danger. He's going to freeze him. If he freezes him in the air, I think the fight is theoretically over. So I vote with chaos.
I would, just before like that influences everyone else, because I did give up my rebuttal. I do want to say that this is where I think the Force would overcome the freezing ability of kinetic energy.
You have to move for the Force. Like it's
You
not
don't.
just.
I do want to state that as well. In the books, there's a girl named Scout, and she still uses like hand motions to make the Force activate, and they literally talk about the fact that you don't have to do that. It's just something that helps your mind do it. So, good. I don't intend on changing your vote.
I'm going to vote. I'm just going to go ahead and throw my vote out there second, I suppose. So, actually, if there's a tie vote, you guys are just going to do rock, paper, scissors, by the way.
I'm just going to do one. I'm not going to win the second.
I mean, I'm actually going to vote for Kyran, and this is why. I think that and I know this isn't how you guys argued it, so you might not be happy with my vote, but with the personality that Chaos has, I think that his ability to think in battle would be highly throttled with the personality that he has. So while he does have super OP powers, I think his mental ability to think out in the heat of battle what his next moves are, defensive, offensive, so on and so forth, would be extremely handicapped due to his not even being able to formulate words character. So that's why I'm going to vote for Kyran.
Okay. Do we all agree that just powers Chaos would win?
I don't, but
Not well,
I
if
think
we're not talking about the nerf abilities, I don't know.
No, the nerfed abilities, the 5 feet and the 30 feet. It's just a quick question.
I don't
believe
have
if we were
it.
talking just powers, it could potentially go either way. I think it would be a longer discussion if we were talking just powers.
Okay, so who's next?
I'll vote. Sorry. You can go if you want.
Deciding vote Leadge.
I vote Kyran.
I'm actually gonna vote Kyran as well. My reasoning is actually very similar to Athena's. The reason being,
That's
Steel says that. Chaos immediately brings up this assault rifle. Like, well, this is the deciding factor. I mean, you won't see
Can't
it, but
see this.
we're not sure.
I got a new scope. I'm looking at my new scope.
okay, let me just put it up there real quick.
Anyways, my reasoning is very similar to Athena's. It's just a lot of it comes down to personality because I feel like powers alone it could go either way. But I think that Kyran's character, his amalgamation of his character, would just attack faster than
Yeah, the
Chaos's
mindset,
character
soldier
would get
mindset.
serious.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that it would just be an out of the gate advantage, and I believe that that's what would win it.
Okay, so I suppose we have decided.
So 3-1. So
Ye-
I
And
tried Chaos.
Kyran is the champion.
there are other competitions, I believe.
Well, it's kind of a one-off elimination, but you still have the chance to make your point when you're voting for other players, okay?
Oh, okay.
Also, just with the person he chose as a personality, he wouldn't have won the final round.
Oh,
He just
oh
wouldn't.
no.
So anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and do my battle versus Steel for the next round. I know I did that out of order with introductions, but this is going to be interesting, I suppose.
Go first, Athena. You can have your
Okay,
round
I guess I'll
first.
go first. I'm not necessarily going to do the timer thing. We'll just kind of pull each other back if we need to.
I'll time myself because I know that I need to keep it
That's
brief.
true.
Essentially, with with my
Talk
powers,
fast.
I have a lot of stealth. I will try to get this battle done quickly, but I'm probably going to have to gasp for air a few times because my time limit is pretty short. But a detective can't really use their powers if they have no sight, smell, hearing,
Or even
feeling
awareness of their existence.
or any type of awareness of a person's existence. So I would probably sneak up on him, and do my signature move of giant headbutt, even though my head's a little bit more smushy. And since your character is also just human, and my character is a chimera ant who can use Nin and has withstood a punch from
Absolutely, because I didn't let her have the swords.
from Ramrot.
Ramut?
Ramit. Okay, I added a letter in there. Ram. There's so many names. My brain isn't.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that I might honestly be able to take her out in one hit, and then just everybody ready to vote?
Yes.
Excuse you, I get my minute.
Go ahead.
All right, are you
That's
ready?
what she said.
Oh wait, since I'm
My
not
minute?
I don't give up, I'm just gonna continue smashing her head into the ground repeatedly. And probably yelling somewhere about how I'm the best
Seems
and
excessive.
strongest that ever lived, even if it's not true.
Ever do it.
This seems excessive. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
tired.
so my character is not at all combat geared. the ability is ultra deduction, so it's incredibly intelligence based. And my character can make extremely advanced calculations with very little data, including the sight of
very
you right before you go invisible and intangible. So my character would use all of that information to kind of project what your next moves would be, and would use the environment to his advantage as much as he could. Now, my character is very tired all of the time, but that is from overwork and sleep deprivation, so that does indicate that he has a work ethic and that he is willing to do what needs to be done. So imagine a little bit like the final exams with Mina and Kaminari against the principal Netsu, because the abilities are very similar. Something kind of like that, even if my character didn't start out like with those types of advantages.
Joke's on you. Inosuke would run straight toward their target regardless. I'm just going straight in. Strategy is not on the mind.
Can I point something else out? Also, even if you are touching the invisible person, you can't even know that you're touching them because you cannot perceive their existence. Like, I think Gon had his hand on him and he couldn't feel him.
I would like to also point out that you have not made a point on how you're actually going to defeat me physically.
I said that I would use the environment to my advantage. It was the only thing I had.
Oh, so you're going to hide until I die. Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot else. We got some kind of out there combos. So if you have anything else, go for it. If not, we're just gonna go ahead and throw it to the vote.
You can go ahead and throw it to the vote. That's probably
Okay,
all I got.
so we forgot to factor in two things. One, the fact that Steele's character is just so freaking tired of everything. Just wants to go back and get some sleep. So I'm not even sure that they would like look too hard when it comes to detective. But
to be fair, they have a work ethic. Okay.
True. The other thing is we forgot to factor in the fact that a chimera ant's body is still pretty formidable. The reason it's not dangerous to people like Gon is because they all have Nen, and your character does not have Nen. Because of that and Inosuke's personality and the fact that he would rush forward, I don't think your body would hold up against a chimera ant's attack.
This doesn't feel like a fight I could have won.
Probably not. So my personal vote goes to Athena.
Right. Next.
Athena.
My vote is gonna go to Athena, actually.
Whoa.
And Chaos.
They can't hear you.
Your character is mute, not you. Athena?
Okay. I guess that's a 3 to.
I gotta say that I'd have to go for Athena just because even though Steele's character does technically have a work ethic and everything, he is limited in motor function and mental capacity are not the right directions to go because of the power she has is deductive reasoning. But doesn't strike me as the type of character that would be
He's
dedicated
completely not
enough.
combat oriented.
No, he would not be dedicated enough to locate the enemy, and because she is using the power base of the deductive reasoning one, he's very squishy. Very squishy. So I gotta go with Athena on this one.
All right. These battles were not designed to have powerful Victorians necessarily, so I matched them up as best I could.
Because you had a bad day.
And you let me repick my character, so this one's kind of on you.
That's true.
You didn't let me repick
It's
either.
not on me. I was just trying to
you got
give you an
Gambit.
interesting combo.
You let me repick.
And I got murdered.
Yeah, well, I didn't let anyone repick. That element didn't even get introduced until she offered it. So.
I honestly want to do this again in the future.
Really
This should be a
shouldn't have let you
reoccurring
repick,
miniseries.
actually.
And
It would have been Inosuke and Zeppile.
we
Zeppile
can
would have been
do
your
this
powers.
reoccurring. It definitely we could do something where we all pick each other's characters. So.
Well,
Like we
that'd be
pick our
hilarious.
own, or somebody else picks for
Somebody
us?
else picks
Yeah,
for
someone
us.
else is
For
always
you.
going to pick for you in terms of pools. I do like the pool idea, but let's go ahead and move on to the final tier 1 or first round battle. And that's going to be Sage versus Leadge. Leadge has static shock with the personality of Naruto during the tuning exams, and Sage has the powers of Canary with the personality of Moomin Rider. Shall we begin?
It's a good personality. It's just so funny to say.
Sage gets to go first.
Okay, I'll go first
Okay,
then.
Sage.
So basically, with Moomin Rider, I have very high drive and justice drive for doing the right thing, and high resolve as well. So that's not going to be a restriction at all. In fact, if I had Canary's personality, I'd be in an even worse situation than if I had Moomin's. So that's just a buff. Now, as far as powers go, I have been nerfed to where I don't have defensive Nin. Seeing as I don't know if static shock could do any damage to me if I had it, so I don't have any defensive Nin. I'm just a human. Well, wait, I guess I have like Moomin Rider's armor. I don't know.
Nope.
Technically, you have Moomin
it's not
Rider's
any stuff, so
personality.
it's just personality. So
You can have the
Nope.
bicycle
Whatever.
helmet if you want.
the bicycle helmet. I mean, I guess I'll take the helmet. I don't need it to win. I don't need it. It's easy.
I don't think it's gonna protect against static shock, but
Okay. Static shock. Now, when it comes to superheroes, DC, Marvel, their speed is limited to humans' perception of time. So if you have a character that is very fast, they can only be as fast as you can even perceive your movements. If you can't perceive them, like your eyesight can't, you can't be that fast unless you're someone like the Flash, who can slow down their perception of time. So speed in Hunter x Hunter is perceived a lot different. You can go much faster. So with Canary, who is considerably faster than human speed levels, I have him beat in my mind. We actually fight with kind of similar weapons. He has a surfboard that can kind of change into a bow
They're
staff.
separate.
Oh, okay, yeah. And it's almost like how Gambit's attacks. This is kind of on his argument. How Gambit's attacks have kinetic energy. It's like that, but not quite as strong. It's electric energy, but it does kind of disperse when it hits. For me, I can put Nin into the staff, and it has kind of an orb on the end that's more weighted, I guess. I can do the cloning shadow step, which is an assassination technique, and I was trained by the butlers of the
Zoldyck.
Zoldite?
Zoldyck family.
Zoldyck
Zoldyck.
family. Okay, that's
And
mine.
Killua.
Oh, that's yours? Okay, does anybody want to nerf my character before I describe
Shut
it?
up.
No, just go for
Anybody?
it. Go right ahead.
No?
No, just go
Okay.
for it.
Yes, you need
He's
a
been
Canary.
Googling this entire time.
canary.
Canary.
Yes.
About 100 times weaker than Gone in the final battle, wouldn't you say?
In the final
Ah,
battle, yeah,
100. Oh.
In the final battle,
10 max. Oh, final battle? 20
Yeah.
probably.
30.
15.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways,
50.
I mean, looking at this, I'd probably say that Static is stronger than Chunin Exam Naruto.
He found a fandom.
a fan fiction writing.
Well, fine. Let's take away Naruto's ability. Let's give him the ability to create force fields, travel at 25,000 miles per hour. Give him the ability to have like godlike levels of lightning.
Is that seriously what it says?
I'm gonna pose a
I did
question to
not
you, the same
research
thing
this
Josh
character
posed
very
to me. How often does he utilize such abilities, and at what point in time in his development does he gain such abilities?
Development. What do you mean
Technically,
development? It's DC. He's had 40 different developments. I don't know what to tell you. Only 20,000 comic books. I don't know
You're
where to
not
bring
wrong.
from.
Which universe?
okay, go back to Gambit, where I have the ability to literally become an energy being, and kinetic energy can blow up the world if I touch it.
Yeah, so
I
I don't know what to
can't use
take from.
that.
Just some like the cartoon universe. I guess that's what makes the most sense.
I was kind of assuming the video game one, so that didn't do a very strong argument, but I want to go back if we're doing that.
You have the option for a rebuttal. Let him finish his argument, though.
Fine. He can
Keep it
create
brief,
force fields, manipulate radiational
Radiation?
radiation. Thank you.
Yeah.
and he can move fast and do lightning and stuff. I don't really know his powers that well.
All right, so how would that match with Naruto's personality?
I mean, with Naruto's drive in the fight, I think it'd help out.
Yeah, for an example, like let's just say if Naruto was battling, or like if his character was battling in the Chunin exams equivalent, he is going to have a lot of resolve.
But my character can fly. What can your character do to get me out of the air?
Throw it staff.
Hella high.
And smack your head on a force field?
Sage, you don't have defensive Nen. What happens when you fall?
I just land really well. I mean,
Well,
I
defensive,
go, like,
defensive from attacks.
Parkour.
yeah.
So can Canary's staff break the force field with Nen?
So with his force fields, I'm guessing they're electric based. For one, regardless, they eventually run out. Force fields are just a temporary shield. I don't know how big they are. I haven't seen anything, but if I'm imagining right, I think so. But even if they couldn't, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
And his electricity is pretty weak. It's 20,000 volts.
Yeah.
Weak in anime standards.
You want
Does
that
anyone
defensive
have-
Nen back?
Does anyone have any further points?
I guess I'll do a quick rebuttal. I don't know. I think it just comes down to the skill level is considerably higher than static shocks. Just it's like times and times and times more. And speed, obviously, like I had stated before. So I think if I can land a good hit to the back of the head, pop, it's over at that point. So not much defense other than the force fields for.
Well, his body durability is said to be building level. So can you level a building with
Yes.
your staff?
Especially if I charge with Nen, I think so.
Okay.
I think that's a
All
reach.
right.
I don't really
So-
understand my character's power level well enough to make
I'm
a good rebuttal.
gonna vote, but I'm also gonna add something that may or may not be canon true in there. I'm gonna vote for Sage / Canary because I'm gonna say that her staff
So
can
we
absorb-
forgetting about Moomin Rider entirely. Like he's gone.
No,
well / Moomin. I mean, he's just a plus. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that her staff can act as like a lightning rod for the static.
right.
I just made that up right now. I have no
Stina,
idea if you can do
I
that.
want Sage to win,
Okay.
and then she just changes it.
What?
Like,
No.
Trying to use
Oh,
reverse
extra
psychology.
power that's not in canon.
Well, it never became like a thing. Like she never fought Killua with his electrical power. So
A lightning
said,
rod
I
to
don't-
wear.
I don't
Her
know
body.
if this is true at all. I didn't say this is going to be a hyper realistic fight competition.
Moomin Rider's
Okay,
not stopping if he gets shocked or smacked on the head or anything.
so I'm just
Well, neither
gonna
Naruto,
vote for Sage, and you guys can go ahead and cast your votes now. You might all vote for Ledge. It's fine.
That's chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Chaos vote.
Kyran.
I unfortunately have to go for Ledge. I do believe
I
that.
voted for you. I'm
That's
kidding.
not how this works. This is not politics.
I
My
voted for
quid
you.
pro quo.
Explain.
No, just because of the speed and the electric capabilities of said individual, even with the dedication of Moomin Rider and the physical capabilities of Canary, I think that in the end, electricity always finds a way, and electricity always puts a stop to just about anything. I mean, we use it to start and stop hearts. We use it to study the thought processes inside the brain. So I think that with Naruto's unwillingness to give up and his ability to do whatever the heck he needs to do to win, and the electricity capabilities of the superhero he's utilizing, I think that just using his speed, not even really using force fields to block you, just using the speed and the straight voltage attacks, that he would probably win in a fight.
can I say something? And this actually just hurts my case. But although the drive of Moomin Rider and Naruto are similar, Naruto's ability to find a way to win is better than Moomin Rider's.
I
Right.
don't think that's a personality
I
quirk,
still
but yeah.
think power levels, I just have it, but I'm just saying for personality-wise, the Naruto does find a way to win often. Well, always.
It's because he has the
Yes,
fox and
because he
other
has
abilities.
other powers.
All right, Steel, go ahead.
This is just because you want to potentially be a tiebreaker.
There is no. Well, it wouldn't be a tiebreaker.
Okay, let's
It'd be a
move on.
tiebreaker.
Anyways,
Doesn't need a long explanation.
Correct.
well,
Guys,
I
it's
was still
men.
trying to decide.
It's
to
one
be
word.
honest. Okay, fine.
Flip-
just
Guys,
because-
it's anime.
Flip coin.
Don't argue.
Stop,
It's clearly anime.
Stop. Stop. Let me finish. Leadge.
No, you're not the stage! What are you doing? It's
Okay,
Canary,
Kyran.
no, wait.
Kyran, go.
Okay, so Canary, we see in her fight, her one little fight against Gon, is incredibly fast. Like, she is very fast. And with Static Shock having Naruto's personality, he's gonna do what Gon did, but like, you know, more towards her anyways. He's gonna charge right in. He's just gonna go straight in. He's not gonna sit back and be like, hey. He almost never sits back. He literally invented a way, and he does it later, but wait, I can't. Where are you at, Athena, in the Naruto series?
He's done the tuning exams, okay? This is the tuning exam level Naruto. You don't need to bring anything else into
No,
it.
I just meant personality style. Have you even
Oh,
reached
I'm on
Shippuden?
like book 39.
Well, it's the
so
personality of the tuning exam, Naruto.
I'm like 18 books into Shippuden.
Anyways, he's not a very long range attacker in anything he does. He likes close range. So he's gonna have lightning strike, but he's gonna try to go in really close. And because his character's been trained by the butlers, very tactical thinking. And also, like I said, very fast. So I think that Canary / Moomin Rider would find a way to get around behind and incapacitate.
So that's a very
Static Shock.
long way of saying we now have a tie.
Yes.
You
Which
guys are silly.
Okay,
Chaos.
so
So
we're
that means
gonna,
you guys get to do
Leadge,
rock,
then?
paper, scissors.
it's gonna be rock paper scissors. I'm just gonna have Kyran edit in the rock paper scissors results
This is so-
as they do them.
This shouldn't have been a rock paper scissors. Oh my gosh, I hate you guys.
Okay,
I hate
so-
you guys so much.
Other way, Sage.
Wait, I'm right.
Turn around, Sage.
Turn around.
Turn
It's
around.
weird.
Around,
You're
Sage.
wrong.
Oh, he's not wrong.
You're
Oh,
wrong.
mine's switched. Mine's switched. Sorry, it's flipped for me. That's right.
Okay, face it toward the camera when you go. Ready? On shoot. Rock paper scissors shoot.
Wait,
okay.
you were saying.
You guys, one of you guys can start.
Josh.
On three.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You took forever on that.
I didn't.
Do it again.
No. That was
didn't
fine.
cut.
That was
Best
fine.
2 out of 3.
That was
Best 2 out of 3.
fine. It's 2 out of 3. It's 2 out of 3. That's what it always is. Okay.
Except for
ours
me and
wasn't.
Chaos.
Okay. 2 out of 3. Oh, Sage.
Oh, poor
has
Leadge.
become
You really
victorious.
screwed him over.
Sorry, Leadge.
You still owe me a rematch because that was not a 2 out of 3.
Yeah, Athena. That's who you're pointing at, by the way. Yeah,
Oh,
Do
Athena.
the next two. Do the next two.
Oh, okay.
What's
That was just for the
round?
beginning.
Wait, I was the only person that voted for chaos.
So our survivors are
I know.
Yeah.
Athena, Sage, and Kyran?
Yes.
Right?
And
Yes. So
because I
we're
want
moving on.
to keep these episodes for you guys short, so you can enjoy them in short intervals. That's round 1 of this.
We did it
I'm
in
not
a
even gonna say if you make it this
episode,
far,
a
because,
round
I mean,
one episode.
You have to have
Episode
made it
3
this
may
far.
be like 10 minutes long. So
Well, it'll
but
have. We can
we
do.
drag it.
We can do the second and third phase. But
I have to be up at 6:45 in the morning.
We're almost
yeah.
done.
So on that note, we'll
Faster.
we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for making it this far. If you disagree, if you disagree with any of us, that sucks to be you. But thanks for watching.
Sure, diss your fans.